Cool. All right. Hey, everyone. Here, Sean Smith with the PPC AMS Accelerator. And today we have one of the students, Tony Boffa. How's it going, Tony?
Yeah, good. Good, Sean.
Good.
Good.
Awesome.
Yeah, I'm fine.
You good? So, Tony is one of the students in our PPC AMS Accelerator training program, and we're gonna just ask him a few questions about how he found the program, the results he's getting, and he's got a few questions for me. So, the first question I have for you, Tony, is how'd you find the PPC AMS Accelerator?
Oh, that's a good question, actually. I'm not sure. I saw you guys sort of floating around somewhere. So we were doing our own PPC, myself and my son, William, and we were like struggling with our account and,
Yep.
Very high ACoS, 50, 60%, just struggling, right? So we were looking for a PPC expert and we came across a couple, and we actually tried some programs.
Yep.
Some software, like we tried Brian Johnson's program, which is great, but it just didn't have everything that we wanted. And
Yep.
you must have, I don't even know where you turned up, somewhere.
Maybe an
And you had
ad,
that-
maybe a Facebook ad.
Yeah, maybe. So you and Taylor with his flashy smile, So maybe it was Taylor's flashy smile. So I thought, okay, let's try. So I'll make a call. So yeah, that was it. Somewhere you turned up, maybe on Facebook, I don't know. But yeah, and I thought, look, this might be more comprehensive. And I knew that we wanted to grow.
Yep.
So I wanted to do it right. I wanted to learn PPC properly, right?
Yeah, and we had an hour call, and what kind of what was the turning point for you to decide to join on that call?
Yeah, I think the fact that the course is really comprehensive. It's very detailed.
Yep.
And it's structured, and it had a combination of us having control, being hands-on, but also this great software you've got. And I think that combination was perfect for what we needed. And we wanted to grow. We wanted to scale. And you kept saying how, we've got 7 and 8 figure sellers,
Yep.
that we run, and this is what they use. And like, yep, that's good enough for me. Bang, let's do it.
And so I remember the phone call, actually, because I remember being like, I kind of told you that I don't know if I could help. Remember, I was kind of like, I don't think it's going to help you. And then you were just, you were like, come on, tell me what the price is. Like, I want to join, man. Cause I was like, I don't know. Cause at the time you're doing like 15K a month and I wasn't sure. And then, then you were like, I want to do it. And I said, all right, let's see what we can do. And, it's been really good. Yep. So now that being said, let's transition. So what was your average? Give me the before and after. Like, what was your average monthly revenue before? What was after? Like, what are the results that you're getting from the training program that's like, helping you scale?
Yeah. Sure. Okay. So I guess, we were doing it depended on the month, and we had some seasonal products, but between 10 and 15,000 a month was typical before. About 4 months later, I think we hit our peak in February. Actually, March was our record month. But we got to 51,000 in March, 49,000 in February. We really did jump quickly. Having said that, we did add some SKUs as well. That obviously helps. But I think the beautiful thing too was that our ACoS dropped from, I think we were doing about 55% ACoS. Yep. And we're now hovering around 25. Awesome. Sometimes we get as low as 20. It's like halved, more than halved. So, and we're not spending as much time on it either for this one account.
Why did that happen? So, what specifically? What modules? Which ones really? Yeah.
I think, look, it's hard to pinpoint everything, but the number one thing is the crushers. I think the crusher campaigns are just brilliant. I mean, the fact that you're getting rid of those wasteful bloody keywords that just bleed you to death, and just focusing on the crusher keywords that are what customers are actually putting in, and building up those, and then getting rid of the campaigns that are not working or reducing the budget. That made all the difference. So I think focusing on the winners and defocusing, if you like, on the losers. Yeah.
And just to give everybody a reference point, so the crusher keywords that Tony's referring to, it's a method that we teach on how to segment the data in the search term report. So basically these crusher keywords, we set up these certain filters in the search term report to isolate specific search terms based on different data points like number of orders, we filter by SKU, things like that. And then we take those and we calculate starting bids, we select match types, and everything's really like formulaic so that, it kind of like the goal is to use these formulas to get the best results. So that's what kind of Tony was referring to, is like segmenting search term data, finding keywords that are the best performing keywords, calculating the starting bids using the historical cost per click data, because we use a weighted average CPC on that, and then launching those campaigns at exact, phrase, and broad, right?
Yeah, so exactly. Yep. Look, and beforehand, a lot of sellers, myself included, were like, should I do broad? Should I do phrase? Should I do exact? Yep. Should I bid $1? Should I bid $2? We have no idea. It's like chaos. But this is structured, right? This is like, this is what you need to do. This is where the bid should be. This is how much you should budget. Bang, bang, bang. It's very structured, and that's brilliant. So that's the beauty.
So we were able to take the account, so $15K to $50K a month. You've added on a few SKUs, but your ACoS is super low, and so you're way more profitable now. So, going from 50% to 20%. So you're saying the crusher campaign. So what's really unique in this situation is those crusher keywords. It sounds like those are the ones that drove down the ACoS, which is really interesting, right? Usually people think of bid management as being the key indicator or the leading factor in decreasing the ACoS. But when you bid on, certain keywords that have performed well historically, they're going to automatically convert well, and they're going to drive down that SKU level or account level ACoS.
Spot on. That's exactly right. Yeah, we were using keywords that were just not relevant or weren't working, and we didn't really understand how to harvest those brilliant winners, those brilliant crushers, as you call them. So now we know how to do it, right? It's a great technique that we didn't know.
But what's really interesting is, this is a phenomenon that I've seen of like several people who have joined the training program, is they'll originally join the training program for their own Amazon business, and then they kind of like develop this skill set of advertising, Amazon, PPC, and AMS, this like high level skill set using our systems, and they're like, man, like I wonder if I could add a revenue stream to my add a new revenue stream using consulting, which is what you did. So you not only scaled your business, but now you have a consulting agency company where you're doing PPC and account management, right?
Absolutely, yeah, absolutely. We do the this came out by accident, in the sense that I've got a few friends in the States who wanted to sell on Amazon, and they were like, hey, you're selling on Amazon? Yeah, we're selling, yeah. Can you help us? Can you put our product on Amazon? I'm like, yeah, okay. So it sort of started just a casual sort of thing, but then when we did the course, we applied the PPC course to their products. They started seeing great results as well. They're like, wow, this is great. Yeah. So we started off, I think, with just two, and they were basically through friends. Then it sort of grew to about 5. And now it's like we've got about 15 clients at the moment. And, some of them are
0, right? 0 when you joined the training program, and now you have 15.
Yeah.
So
Absolutely. So, Matt, it's been great. It was just like it was something that we didn't plan for, but it just sort of happened organically, if you like, because the program is so good, it gave us the confidence, because we had good account management experience, 3 years in Amazon. We've got people that work for us now that are ex-Amazon staff, so we've got a really good inside knowledge. So the PPC sort of rounded it off. So now we set up this company called Pbca.com. Everybody, Pbca.com, total account management.
And PPC as well.
And PPC as well. So, so Pbca.com. Anyway, so
Did you want to spell it out, Tony?
Yeah. Bilzar. Bilzar. So the brilliant thing is that we've been able to help. We help. Like, we do have a couple of 7- and 8-figure sellers that are clients. So we're dealing with those big sellers, and we're helping them with their total account management. But we've also got some newbies as well, and we're helping them as well, just with their knowledge in both PPC and account management. So it's a really well-rounded program, and it gave us the confidence to go out there and talk to new clients.
Cool. So,
because if you don't have, you know what it's like, if you don't have PPC, you can offer some account management, you can do certain things, but PPC is so big, and it's getting bigger, and it's more competitive. If you don't know PPC, you know, you're dead in the water, basically.
I agree. For the majority, I agree, because, you know, if you look at a typical account, you know, like you'll see an average of, you know, if you look at ad spend to total, or ad revenue to total revenue ratios, you know, you'll see between 15 and 50%. So, you know, there's some accounts that, you know, 30% of their income, 40% of their total sales come from advertising. And that doesn't even include the organic sales that they're pulling. That's, you know, hard, you know, it's really difficult to measure that. And so, you know, you're looking at like half your money. And so advertising on Amazon is massive, and it's very unique in the sense that when you get a conversion for a keyword, you know, you get organic. It helps with the organic as well, which is very unique to the platform. It's really cool. Amazon has made it really well because it justifies the spend even further. So like, not only do you get the sale for the keyword, but since you get organic, it's almost kind of like they're baking in a higher return on investment. So it incentivizes people to spend more money. And so it's kind of a win-win situation. So it's such a unique ad platform. And yeah, man, it's huge. I mean, advertising on Amazon, it's still in, you know, it's not quite as in its infancy as it was back in November when they started rolling out product targeting and all this stuff. But I still think it's pretty early days. I still do think it's early days. I think it's going to be it's going to be crazy. But yeah, it's so huge. And that's cool. I like how. What? Oh, shoot.
No. I was going to say, look, and it's funny because some sellers I talk to, they're like, oh, I don't know, do I spend money on this course, or should I hire someone? And they're like wasting thousands of dollars a month, you know, or sometimes even thousands of dollars a week because they're doing it wrong.
Yep.
It's your biggest avoidable expense.
Yeah.
On Amazon. Obviously you have unavoidable expenses. You've got your fees and so on. They're unavoidable. But your biggest avoidable expense is PPC. And it's crazy to not do it right. So my recommendation to anyone is, if you've got the time, do the course. Do PPC AMS Accelerator course, because it's the best one on the planet. And if you don't have time, billsr.com.
and so, all right. So I kind of want to go back to getting results for your existing clients on the PPC side. Was the main driver using those crusher keywords from the search term report? Was that kind of the big one, or were there other keyword research methods or bid optimization methods that made a huge impact on top of that?
Yeah, so it's funny when you first look at a new account, and some of them big accounts, and you see the amount of bleeding going on. It is nuts. Yep. It is nuts, you know. So you can easily not just increase the sales, but reduce their ACoS very, very quickly. That's what we found, simply by cutting the bleeders. And then when you introduce those crusher campaigns, of course, you're getting greater conversion. You're getting better conversion. And we've got clients. They say, you know, if I cut my ACoS, I'm going to lose my sales. Yeah, that's true a lot of the time. But listen, there is a way to cut your ACoS and increase your sales if you follow this method in your course.
Yep.
And we're already in early days. We've already been able to achieve that. I'm sure you've seen that a lot.
Yeah, and. So when you refer to cutting bleeders, are you talking about the cutting bleeders that we teach in the program, where it's like 8 clicks, no sales, and then we decrease it to 25? So for people that don't know, basically what Tony's doing is he's going in, he's doing an audit on these accounts, and he's basically filtering using these preset filters. I think he downloads a bulk file. He sets the filters as, you know, 8 clicks, no sales, and then he finds out the quantity of those bleeders, and then he'll decrease the bid to about 25% below the CPC, and that's been able to save a ton of money for his clients. And that is a good way, because you'll see, like, sometimes it does gradually decrease sales whenever you bring down ACoS, but in like the perfect account, you're able to do both, right? You're able to bring down these ACoS and increase the sales. Those are, like, when you get a good audit, those are like the best ones to work with.
Absolutely.
Yeah, and you can scale those up pretty good.
And the software program you've got is priceless. It's brilliant.
Yeah.
And the fact that you include that as part of your course for free, don't change it, by the way. Because on its own, it's brilliant. On its own, it's brilliant. Because,
it is.
I mean, how else? Like, we have got some clients with thousands of campaigns going on. I'm talking thousands.
Yep.
There's no way you can monitor it manually. There's no way you can spend every day with bid management. So this software program, the fact that it can automatically cut bleeders, it can automatically focus on things like your PDAs, not just your keyword, your auto campaigns it works on as well. It can actually create auto campaigns automatically, which is brilliant.
Yep.
So it's just like, on its own, it's worth that. That is worth the course alone, in my opinion.
The software is really unique in the sense that, like, what I love about how we rolled out the software was we teach you guys all the decisions that we made on how we made those decisions. So kind of the point was not only to give you a tool that helps you scale, but teach you the methodology behind the tool so that you're the expert, right? So that you can like start to become smart with using it. And what I loved is one thing, like what I've been really happy about is the updates we've been able to provide based on the new features Amazon rolled out. Like for example, with the auto campaigns, there's new 4 targeting types with the auto campaign. So now we created like formulas where we make changes at the targeting level versus the ad group level, which is how we did it before. And then when Amazon rolled out the product targeting and category targeting, it was different in the script, in the API, it's different like code or whatever. And so we had to create, formulas for the product targeting and category targeting, but we've got those rolled out, which I think help out a lot because, a lot of people were doing it manually. And, Amazon, they finally got the bulk files in order to where we can make changes with the product targeting. But yeah, like being able to stay up to date with all the new targeting types for the software, I think has been really helpful.
It's incredible. And the fact that you can, press a button to cut bleeders, as you call them, cut the bleeders. We had one client and we just, I think in the first week, we just did a cut bleeder and 55 bleeders were cut. I think we saved him would have saved us something like over $500. And he's like, what? You just saved me $500. Yeah. At a touch of a button.
At the touch of a button. I know. And what's really cool is like, it's teaching like how to correlate the decision that's made with the return on investment, right? Like you can just cut bleeders and be like, oh, I did it. But you got to get granular with it. How many keywords were cut? What was the amount that was spent? So we can forecast the savings in the future. You can even forecast ACoS. If you just like decreased $500 from the total, you decrease $500 from the total spend and divided by sales, you can even show the person like, hey, if you wouldn't have spent that $500, here what your ACoS would have been. And moving forward, this is kind of like how we forecast what the potential could be for lowering the ACoS. So like being able to like do those equations and look at like the cross-analyze and cross-calculate things, I think really helps with being able to, see the return that you can bring with the changes that you make, which is kind of like what we always want to teach. We always want to make people smarter. And so I love it. So we're sitting at, you got clients, you got 15 clients. So 0 clients at the beginning, 15 clients doing about $12K a month there. And your Amazon business is doing $50K a month. So I mean, you're sitting pretty right now. So congrats.
Pretty, yeah. I've been called pretty. But no. No, look, it's all about looking after the customer. It's totally about that, as you know. It's about getting results for the customer and making sure you're doing everything for them. So, and then, the numbers just follow after that. So really,
you have to get results, man.
Absolutely. And that's what we're geared towards. We're still building and we want it, but the focus is always making sure our clients are happy and they're getting the results they want. So that's it, and everything else should flow on after that. So can I have some questions for you now? Are you ready?
Sure. Yeah.
No one's interviewed you, Sean Smith. So like the person behind the numbers, behind this magnificent course, I think we need to find out a bit. Is that okay?
Yeah. Let's do it, man. Let's do it.
Okay. So the first question I have is, first of all, where were you born? Were you actually born on planet Earth, or is it true that you were from the planet Krypton?
I know. So guys, this is kind of a joke. So Tony calls me Super Sean, Superman, and when I used to wear my glasses, he said I used to look like Clark Kent, and so he's always asked me if I'm from Krypton or not. So to my knowledge, I'm not. So according to the United States and my mother, I am from the U.S. I was born on Earth. So
Great, good to know. No, that's good to know. So you're from Chicago? Is that where are you native to Chicago?
Native to St. Louis, which is about 6 hours from here, so very close to it.
Okay, cool. So, when you were a kid growing up, were you like thinking, "Yeah, man, I've got to do a PPC course"? I mean, what were your interests as a kid?
Reading. So I was pretty quiet. So like as a young kid, I was a quiet kid, and so I really liked to read a lot. And I didn't talk when I was super young. I didn't talk a ton. As I got older, I became more social. Like I socialized and things like that. But yeah, when I was super young, I was pretty quiet, I think, in general. And then I kind of like started making friends as I got older and things like that. So yeah, I was into books. And what did I want to be?
Yeah.
I mean, the thing about when you're a kid, you kind of want to be what like everyone teaches you to want to be. Like you're like you want to be what like either your mom knows what you want to be or like their professions. PPC wasn't a profession at the time, so I wanted to be maybe a doctor. I wanted to be an evangelist at one point, and then I wanted to be a firefighter. And so like doctor. So I'm none of those.
No, you are, mate. You're all of them. In the course, you're a doctor, you're healing wounds, you're an evangelist preaching the word, and you're a firefighter putting out all these fires, right? So thank you, mate. You're doing it all. So let me ask you,
mostly a firefighter, I think.
So, mate, what made you get into it? I mean, what prompted you? I know you said your background was Google. What made you actually get into this PPC thing?
Yeah. So I had been So I can go all the way back to when I used to work for the government, and I used to try to build businesses on the side, like e-commerce business. I tried doing all these things, and then I tried building all these different niche websites and do Shopify, and then I got a job as an SEO in downtown Chicago for a software company. And I looked up, there's this guy named Jim Cockrum in the Amazon space, and I found one of his videos, and he talked about how you can go to like retail stores and you can flip products and things like that and make money and make a profit. So I started doing this thing called retail arbitrage on Amazon, all these online arbitrage. I did wholesale, I did private label. And so I was working full time and doing these things, and then I got invited to speak at a Amazon meetup in Chicago. Since I have a digital background, and one thing I noticed was a lot of Amazon sellers don't have a strong digital background. A lot of them come from, they come from like they know how to create products, or they come from different markets, but a lot of them didn't have a strong background. So they the meetup wanted me to come in and speak about like PPC, and then my wife videotaped it. We put it up on YouTube, and the people at the place they were like, "Hey, can I hire you for coaching and things like that?" And so I was like, all right, yeah, sure, let's do it. And so I did coaching. I got my first client locally in Chicago. And, basically what happened was like my Amazon business and my consulting business were like, the consulting was just kind of taking off. And I think it's because I had that skill set, and the Amazon business wasn't scaling as quickly. And so I decided to, to consolidate. And so I went that route, and yeah, man, I mean, I got into it mainly because I want to be an entrepreneur. I mean, the original reason was because I wanted to be an entrepreneur. I wanted to be able to control my time. Doing it most reasons that every other, they want to control their time. They want to be able to make as much money as they can, if they want to. But they want to decide on that. They want to decide do I want to make more money, less money, and I can control my day. I don't have a boss. So that seemed really desirable to me. And so that was the main reason I kind of got into it. And PPC, I didn't choose PPC. PPC chose me. That's how I always think of it. It chose me because,
really?
It was destiny. I mean, it was absolute destiny, because if you think about it, super low barrier to entry. And when I started, it was demand, the demand outweighed the supply like nobody's business. I mean, I started when it was early days. And so it was kind of like fate, where I just kind of got lucky. I kind of there's this extremely premature market that didn't have like, I didn't need a certification. I didn't need this, that, the other. And so it was growing like crazy. People needed help. And, yeah, and I was there. And so like PPC chose me, man. And I'm happy it did.
Brilliant. Yeah, definitely. Now, so you had this wonderful agency going successfully, you and Taylor, right? But so what made you go from there to actually running this brilliant course? I mean, why the change then?
Yeah, that's a good question. So the agency was doing pretty well, and basically we switched over to the training program model because it allows you to scale like helping more people, and so like we can help more people. It's more scalable from being able to help people perspective. Like an agency, you have it's not as scalable in terms of helping people. That was one of the big reasons we did it. It was the scalability, and we could like make a bigger impact, I think, long term, because we can get more. I mean, I think I've gotten more results for people in the training program than I did with my agency in terms of volumes of humans. And so it's crazy, man. And it's cool. Like, I love it. Like, I'll tell you, like, my favorite time of the day is when people send me like today, like Toby just joined our training program, and he's like, dude, it's been a week, and like he's like, I'm getting like, today was his most profitable day in like a really long time, and he's like, and like he's seeing the results really quickly. And so like when I get those messages, I just get super excited because it's like it works, man. It's like magic. And so like, no doubt. It's crazy, man. It's the coolest feeling in the world. Like, people are like, oh, it works. And you're like, holy crap. Like, this is amazing. Like, you created something and it provides like crazy tangible value. Like, it changes people's lives, man. Like,
it does.
You know what I mean? Like, it's
and
like,
scalability is everything. I mean, that to me is a key factor of your course, that it allows you to scale. So many courses or software, they don't really allow you to scale. Because you've got that combination of, you've got the great software and you've got the ability to do these bulk files that can handle thousands of keywords, and no keyword is left unturned, Brilliant.
Dude,
brilliant.
Never.
No
keyword is ever left unturned.
So my question is, the future. How do you see, a lot of sellers want to know about what the hell is happening with PPC, where's it going? I mean, do I need to take it more seriously? Where do you see PPC AMS on Amazon in, say, 5 years and 10 years?
I think in 5-10 years, it's just going to be way more. I think it'll be more expensive and it'll be more sophisticated. They're going to add on layers of features. And so you're going to have to figure out whether or not these features can help or hurt you. And so that comes along with testing. So I think that's the future of it. And so the Accelerator has to like adapt to that. And so we have to keep testing and updating things like, and that's why I've hired, a sales guy recently, so that I can spend more time on the product, because I know advertising on Amazon moves quickly, and I want to be the product guy. Like, that's the best thing. Having the best product, like, no business has ever died from having the best product in the world. And so like having a good product is important. And good products sell themselves. And so like, I think the future of it is going to be it's just going to be even more data than now. Like, you're going to be dealing with more features, and you're going to have to figure out which features work and which ones don't. So I think that's going to be kind of the future of it. It's hard to, generally, like, people have said that Amazon has copied a lot of the features from AdWords. And so AdWords, if you look at AdWords, it's kind of an insight into the future of what Amazon is. And so that's one. But really, like, it's kind of funny, like, our program was built like a year ago, but like the foundations of advertising, I think, are very, like, a lot of people think, oh, it's changing, everything's, doing this or that. But I think the core foundations are very, like, consistent. Right? I think they're pretty consistent, like, because if they weren't, I couldn't get results for like multiple people, over the past year. And like, these systems I've been using for like years. And so like, I think the best thing that you can do is, whenever you're working on a platform, is like try to build like understand what's constant and what's not constant. Because Amazon's advertising will change, but like, if you have a really good skill set, you'll know what doesn't change. And that's like the secret, is like knowing like, what are the things that you can repeatedly do over and over again that get results constantly. And so that'll be the challenge as, the platform evolves and more features and stuff. Like, I mean, like they've got.
What things are going to be new? I mean, I thought we've got everything covered. You've got headline ads, you've got product targeting,
Yeah, product
keyword. I
display
mean, what
ads.
else is there? Is there anything else?
I mean, not. There's AAP. There is Amazon Advertising Platform. That is one other platform that I don't have experience with. Yeah.
I've never heard of that.
Yeah, it's more like enterprise like level where you have to have like a contract. Either so only two people can have access to it. So AAP is Amazon Advertising Platform. So agencies can get access to it, and and that's it pretty much for self-serve. So brands don't get access, to my knowledge. Maybe they've changed it, but brands don't get access to this platform. They have to hire Amazon to manage it for them. And so that's a platform we don't cover, and that's just because, I mean, I didn't get really good results from it. And there's video and search, but a lot of the other stuff is not self-serve. And so since it's not self-serve, we don't have access to changes. But yeah, we've got what headline? We got sponsored brands, product display ads, product targeting, category targeting, and then sponsored products. So yeah, we've got all like the core ones. And honestly, like I like having like the sponsored products and the sponsored brands because they're search ads, and search ads do way better than display ads. So because they convert better, the intent's there, and so search ads are really the best one to have if we can, just because of the return on investment.
What about AMS? Is AMS going to die? Do you think? Because it seems like a lot of the AMS features are going to PPC. So is the AMS going to be gone in a year or 6 months?
Dude, I don't know. I've heard people say this. I mean, I've heard people say that. I've heard a lot of different things. Maybe not. I don't know. I know they've been consolidating. So recently there was an update where anybody who was doing, I think it was like $10 million a year or less or something like that. Don't quote me on that. But basically DigiDay published this article saying that if people who were under a certain threshold on their vendor platform, they didn't get reorders. And so a lot of people were like, what's going on? So it sounds like they're really consolidating the vendor side. And so like they're like only working with really, really big brands on that side. So and then they have like the so I don't know. I mean, I don't know. That's yeah, we'll see. I mean,
we'll see.
It's killing it, man. I mean, AMS, it's a great. I don't know what to say.
It's a must-have.
It's good, man. I mean, we've done like analyses of like the sponsored brands on the Seller Central side, and we haven't done this in kind of a while. So maybe a new study should be done. But the reason we haven't done it is because it didn't work. We would copy campaigns to sponsored brands in Seller Central, compare them to AMS, and AMS tended to perform better. And I've gotten confirmations from other people on that too. So I love the return. And you got the product display ads, which are really cool. They don't represent a ton of revenue, and the conversion rates are low, and they can get expensive if you don't have a good bid strategy. But, it's incremental sales, which when you're working with larger brands, they want everything. And so they're just put me everywhere. You know what I mean?
Yeah, cover everything. Oh, splatter me all over Amazon. Hey, one last question, if you don't mind. Brand analytics, this is relatively new to us. It looks brilliant, but what's that all about? If you can, I don't know if you've explained it elsewhere, maybe you have, but for my benefit, if no one else, brand analytics, what's the benefit to the seller? Is it going to be a big thing? How's it going to change the PPC platform?
So like the cool thing about brand analytics is you can plug in an ASIN, you can plug in a search term, and you can see like the number one click share, the number one conversion share. So like, dude, this is huge, right? Like if you can find who has the number one click share, conversion share, you can target those keywords and try to like beat them. So it's just from an analytics standpoint, it allows you to be more analytical, right? It gives you like data like who's converting the most on these search terms, because you can download the spreadsheet and be like, who's the number one, who's the number two, and who's the number three, and you can target those search terms and try to take traffic from them and maybe like move up the ranks there. So I mean, it's just really cool because it's Amazon data. And so what you can do is, if you have PPC, what you do is you take your top performing search terms or your top ASINs and then you plug them into brand analytics, right? And then you download that report, deduplicate it against your existing keywords, and then test them. Because what I've learned, like, it depends on the keyword, but like, I mean, that's what I would do with brand analytics. because
I'm feeling a new campaign strategy coming up
yeah,
for the course, Sean.
yeah, there is. Yeah. It's brand analytics it's pretty cool, man. It's really, really cool. They have like all this different stuff. And so it's like, how do we use the data to get a return? So like, that's the hardest part, right? Getting data, features, like getting new data and getting features, I think is great. But the hardest part is like, how do we like get repeatable results? Like that's hard. That's strenuous, man. Like to get repeatable results, you got to like test things and you got to track things. Like you have to track the methods that you're using. It's tedious. It's a tedious process, right? Like if you want to get it right. And so that's why I like to, like when you do something, you got to record the method and then you have to like create a naming system for that method. And then once you test the method, you have to figure out, did the method work or not? So there's a lot of tracking involved versus like just going in and being like, typing in a search term, download a bunch of keywords from brand analytics, upload them in a campaign and boom. But you want to like have, you can do that, but what if you duplicate a keyword? You know what I mean? If you duplicate a keyword, then that doesn't necessarily benefit you too much because the older keyword is going to perform better than the newer keyword from what we've seen because of history generally. And Amazon has confirmed that too. So you would ideally want to go back to that older keyword and increase the bid if you wanted to be more competitive. So like all these moving parts, man. And like I think when you're, that's like, that's like more next level. You got to analyze it and segment it and like, because you want it to be clean, man. You want it to be clean and as precise as possible. You're gonna have leaks here and there, but you're really trying to like create like a tight approach.
Brilliant, mate.
Yeah.
Brilliant. Well, thank you for that.
Thank you, Tony. And do you have any other questions for me?
No, that'll do for now, mate. I think probably bored. Everyone's falling asleep, I think, mate.
Cool. Yeah, me too. It's actually late over here too. It's like 9 o'clock. All right, Tony, thank you so much for doing the interview, and I will talk to you later.
Thanks, Sean.